A sincere expression of gratitude to our esteemed patrons for their generous monthly contributions.
Cousin Marc and Ashling.
Karen and Kate.
Stephanie and Courtney.
Lynn and Margie. Sarah.
You too can become a valued patron and unlock a realm of exclusive content by supporting our mission for as little as $3 a month. Your contributions sustain our commitment to delivering high-quality content. Visit wickedwanderingspodcast.com and click on the support tab to join the ranks of our dedicated patrons. Thank you for considering this opportunity to deepen your engagement with Wicked Wanderings. Your support is paramount in enabling us to continue our journey into the realms of mystery and true crime.
Pizza Man, what did you have for breakfast?
2 bacon McDoubles.
From McDonald's?
Yep.
Not a sponsor.
But they should be.
I don't know. With all the E. coli, I don't know if I want them to be a sponsor.
Yeah, I was going to say,
right
do
now.
you want McDonald's to sponsor this podcast?
But those nuggets.
They do
Nuggets
have
are
a
good.
special right now on
They,
the nuggets.
they do have a pretty good special.
$1 for
nuggets.
10.
Ooh.
You got to order through that though.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Once a week.
Once, yeah. I think it's once per day.
Week.
Ooh.
Oh.
Courtney's like, I
know what looks.
That's why you clicked the other coupon earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Courtney.
Join us as we delve into true crime, paranormal encounters, and all things spooky.
Grab your flashlight and get ready to wander into the darkness with us.
This is Wicked Wanderings. Well, hello, Wanderers. And I'm going to say hello to 3 people that are here. Of course, Courtney, thank you for
Hello.
gracing us with your presence once again. Hello, Rob.
Hello.
And we have Pizza Man back for episode 2. Hello, Pizza Man.
Why, hello.
Are we ever going to tell them his identity?
Maybe we can make it like if everybody, how many subscribers do we need, producer?
I don't know.
How many subscribers do we need to release?
Probably one since last time we had. And we only got one, from last time. That's okay. It's
I
all
think
right.
we might have fan mail also. I don't know if you want to.
We do have some fan
We
mail.
have fan mail.
From Cousin Marc.
Because I see it, I'll be working and it's Cousin Marc. And I'm like, oh, Cousin Marc. Rob, do you want to read some of the fan mail?
Yeah, I can
ahead.
pull it up. All right, so I got 2 from November 6th. And Cousin Marc says, Cousin Marc here. The bonus episode is locked.
Oh, man.
That's wow.
Not the bonus episode. Rob, what is it that people can do if they find that they're trying to get in and it's locked?
You can email support at I just repeated
Buzzsprout?
myself. It's
Support at Buzzsprout.
The support email is support@buzzsprout.com, and they can help you out.
And they're definitely very helpful because I had to do that before I joined Wicked Wanderings
Yes.
as a subscriber. And the same thing was happening to me where it was locking me out.
Yes.
Or you can text one of us, Cousin Marc, and we'll help you.
Yeah, definitely. November 6th, Cousin Marc here. Fucking Putnams.
Fucking Putnams.
Listening to last Bundy episode and about the accused people, LOL. Do you know what he's talking about?
Nope.
I don't know if he's putting 2 things together.
I don't know.
The
2
accused
episodes?
people.
And then on November 22nd, Cousin Marc here. Fucking Putnams.
Fucking Putnams.
And then November 22nd, Cousin Marc here. I always come through somehow.
Yes, you do, Cousin Marc.
Yes, we
Yes,
do
you
bring up Cousin Marc a lot. And then also November 22nd, Cousin Marc here.
And we love you, Cousin Marc.
I really appreciate it. I also do want to apologize to the Wanderers for not having anything this past week, but it was Thanksgiving week, so hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving if you celebrate.
And if you want to see all our fan mail, you can go to our website. That's wickedwanderings.com, and you can click on the fan mail, and we usually pin most of the fan mails up there so you can see what other people are saying about this lovely podcast.
As long as they're
didn't know
appropriate. We'll preface it by saying that. As long as they're appropriate.
And if you want to reach out to us through fan mail, there's a link down in the show notes. It will send us a message through our Buzzsprout app.
As long as we're not logged out.
And then we can read it live here. All right, so Hannah, what are we doing today?
Today, Courtney and Pizza Man got this great book called Strange History, Mysterious Artifacts, Macabre Legends, Boneheaded Blunders, and Mind-Blowing Facts. It doesn't really say who it's by, though. That's the weird part.
The beauty of thrift finds is that you don't even know what you're looking for until it's sitting in front of you.
Oh, it's by the Bathroom Readers Institute.
Oh, so it's a book that's supposed to be in the bathroom.
Well, we're right next door to the bathroom, so...
And they're nice, short, little, like, weird stories. So I'm just going to read the first one and we'll see how we feel. Are we ready?
We're
Okay,
ready.
Bring it on. Do we need a drum roll?
No.
No. Okay.
I do not have one on my
He says no.
soundboard. I only have.
Fucking Putnams.
I like the fucking Putnams better.
Chi-Chi equals nasty, nasty. That's the title.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, boy's right. This strange Broadway musical, written in 1928 by the legendary duo of Richard Rodgers and Lorenz Hart, put an end to their long strings of successful shows. Why? It may have been the squirm-inducing plot based on a comic novel called The Son of the Grand Eunuch. In case you don't know, eunuchs were men who had been castrated and employed to guard the women's living areas.
Oh,
Very
okay.
nice.
Castrated and then employed because they were castrated
Yes.
to guard women's living areas.
Yes.
Just making sure you've all got that crystal clear. Okay.
Rogers and Hart set their story in ancient China. The emperor's grand eunuch, Li Pi Sao, tells his son, Li Pi Chao, that he wants him to take over his job. But Li Pi Chao is in love with a beautiful woman named Chi-Chi and doesn't want to become a eunuch. So the lovers flee and embark on a series of misadventures in which Chi-Chi has to award various thieves and bullies sexual favors in order to get herself and Li Pi Chao out of one predicament or another. The musical bombed. The review of Chi-Chi in the London Observer was entitled simply Nasty Nasty.
Mm.
I don't know what I just read.
That feels like one man's pursuit to keep his own penis. That's what it felt like.
Pretty
It was like
much.
the short version of that story is one man wanted to keep his penis.
Yes.
The end.
Interesting.
Well, it's definitely strange.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to read another one. 3 strange fads. Goldfish swallowing. On March 3rd, 1939, Harvard University student Lothrop Winthington Jr. swallowed a live goldfish to win a $10 bet. Days later, not to be outdone, a college student in Pennsylvania downed 3 goldfish seasoned with salt and pepper. When a fellow classmate upped the ante to 6 goldfish, the gauntlet had been thrown down and the goldfish swallowing craze spread like wildfire on campuses across the United States. By the time the fad faded a few months later, thousands of goldfish had met gruesome ends. Tooth dyeing. In 16th century Europe, tooth dyeing was popular among upper-class women. In Italy, red and green were the most popular colors, while Russian women favored black.
Oh, which is funny because if you think about it now, we really put a high prestige on white.
Interesting.
Black is very, very much,
Looks rotten.
yeah, a color that you wouldn't imagine would be associated with status.
Huh.
I mean, half the time if you drink a blue drink, your teeth blue.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
They could have saved themselves a lot of money, probably.
The goldfish swallowing is also very strange.
Yeah, and like, are they alive? Are the goldfish alive?
yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be alive.
That's
Oh, yeah.
so like morbidly curious here. I just think about, okay, you swallow a live goldfish. The fish is still alive
Right.
inside of your body.
Right.
How, like,
Flipping all
is
the
it
way
the
down.
stomach acid that kills the fish?
Oh, yeah,
Is
definitely.
it- how long does that take, though? It's all flopping around in there.
Fairly quickly, once you swallow it and hit the stomach, the acid will kill anything.
Oh, God.
I was gonna say I don't think you're gonna feel it flop around down in your stomach.
No, but psychologically, I'm feeling it flopping around. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also just poor goldfish. What did they do to deserve that?
They did
Here's
nothing.
a bet.
We can talk about murder here, but somebody talks about swallowing a goldfish, and now I'm pissed.
Yeah, Steve wouldn't like that too much.
No, Steve would not like that.
But Steve's not a goldfish.
He's a beta, but he's also a stupid beta because I'm pretty sure he ate one of those blue beta beads and now he's in a hospital tank
Oh.
being treated for dropsy.
Wait, what's going on with
Droopsy.
Steve? He's not at your house?
Well, he's in a hospital tank at the
Yeah.
house because I think he ate one of those blue orbs that was in there.
Oh, so you took him out of the tank.
Yeah, we put him in a new tank, and we moved the heater over and all that.
Wow.
Oh,
Is he
geez.
doing okay?
He looked so puffy in the top half. Like he looked like somebody put an Orby inside of
Oh,
So how do you
jeez.
fix him? Do you just wait him
There's
out?
some
Yeah.
kind of medication and then just like waiting him out with it. So he's in an empty like fish bowl with just the stuff that he mentioned, like the
Yeah.
tank heater and stuff. So if an orb appears in there, we'll know it came from Steve.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, look, good news is he's doing a lot
Yeah,
better.
he wasn't moving. He
Moving
was
around
like-
a lot more. So, yeah, whatever those give off.
We looked
Not
and
good.
either that or he bit into one and it released some kind of chemical because he was like laying on the bottom of the tank and
He's
just
moving
like
slow.
really, really lethargic.
Poor Steve.
I know. We tried to do something nice for him and look what happened.
Oh my god.
So hopefully Steve's hospital tank stay. I think he likes it. I think he likes looking at the plants that he can see
Or
from
watching TV.
or watching TV.
I just feel like it's those kids back in the day. I'm talking about way back in the day for a reason because they would get the little Hot Wheels because the parents were like, oh, they'll love these,
The
and they would
wheels.
like put them in their mouth, and they had lead paint, and then they got sick.
Yeah. I don't know why my brain immediately went to kids who bite wheels off of things.
Oh, I hate
Too
that.
much work.
Yeah, it is way too
Or
much
heads
work.
off of dolls.
Yep. So to crotchless tunics.
Whoa.
Crotchless tunics.
I'm sorry. What part of a tunic has a crotch anyways, right? Aren't all tunics crotchless?
Well, let's define a tunic first.
Want me to look it up?
Yes,
I
please.
was like, you're looking at me. Oh.
All right. Let's see.
I thought he was going to pull it up.
Okay, well, my phone took tunic and made it ethnic, so that was interesting. Okay, a tunic, according to Google, is a loose garment, typically sleeveless and reaching to the wearer's knees. So,
It's a piece of clothing you put on.
yes.
Okay.
Oh.
So it's a tube.
It's essentially like a smock, kind of like
Yeah.
it's or like a dress.
Oh,
basically, it lays over and it's very loose.
Which
But
makes sense because it's
so
talking about medieval England right now.
confused about the crotchless piece because I've never heard someone refer to anything.
So it's like
as
a big hole.
But it's like a dress.
It's
All
like
dresses are crotchless. They don't.
I was going to say,
Yes.
it sounds a lot like, like a wizard. Like a
that's
wizard
cloak.
robe, kind of, yeah, something like that, just without the armholes.
I'm gonna get a picture. Would that help if I get a picture?
Maybe.
Okay, let's get a
Well,
picture.
that won't help our wanderers.
Yeah, but it will help Hannah.
Unless you're driving right now, please take the time to pause this episode and
Yeah,
Google
okay, yeah.
a tunic.
Tunic.
Okay, it looks like a dress
Right,
or
the-
a skirt or a kilt.
It's one piece, so it's like that top piece, and then it usually like bunches in around the waist, and it's basically like a dress, from my understanding.
I mean, we
Yeah.
really could go into it here and be like, men now, not all men excluded right here, but like some men are like, "Ugh, that'd be like so feminine if I wore a dress. Ugh." Like looking back, men
Yeah.
wore heels, they wore makeup, they wore wigs, they
Yeah.
wore dresses. So
and kilts.
that's another episode.
and kilts. That's what I was gonna say.
That's a whole other episode, but anyhow.
That's for our other podcast.
In medieval England, wealthy gentlemen often wore clothing that left their assets exposed
Oh.
by way of short-fitting tunics with no pants. If the genitals didn't hang low enough, padded, flesh-coated prosthetics called briquettes would be used.
wait, I'm sorry. If the penis didn't protrude long enough, that small dick energy, they put a prosthetic penis. Essentially, they stuffed their junk.
I think they're talking about the balls.
If
just-
the
what-
genitals didn't hang low enough, padded, flesh-coated prosthetics called briquettes would be used.
it does sound like the balls.
Yeah.
I just
Wow.
in that kind of ensemble, I don't think I would want my genitals to hang out the bottom.
What year was this again?
It just says medieval England, so
Oh,
probably
medieval,
like
okay.
1600
15,
maybe.
16, okay.
How else do you market yourself if you don't plop the
Wow.
family jewels right on their living room table?
Excuse me while I move this over.
And then a prosthetic piece falls out all over the place.
Oh, let me go fix this.
Well, that's embarrassing. Dropped my tissue ball.
All right, I'm going to read one more and I'll pass it to you.
Sure.
Okay. The flea killer. Queen Christina ruled Sweden from 1632 to 1654. What did she consider the biggest threat to her kingdom? Fleas. The queen hated them and wanted each and every one she found in her palace killed, individually. To accomplish this feat, this was long before the invention of chemical insect repellents, obviously. She commissioned the construction of a tiny 1-inch long cannon that was packed with tiny flea-sized cannonballs.
Oh, petty.
Whenever she spotted one, she fired the tiny cannon at it and occasionally made a kill shot.
Thank God we have
Oh
Kill
flea
shot
my
for
treatment.
God.
the fleas or a kill shot for the person?
Probably both.
Wait, what? What was your question?
Kill shot for the fleas or kill
No, for
shot
the fleas. So it was
Yeah.
like a little cannon just go bing.
Yeah, 'cause it
like a
almost sounds
spit
like you're
dart.
getting, it sounds like you're getting shot at by a shotgun shell. That's 1 inch.
All right,
Like a
I'm
little
going
410.
to pass it to
I'm
Courtney.
going to do a temporary pause here.
All
All
right.
right. So do we want to throw some murder in here?
Yeah.
Murder.
Oh, so this is a different book.
Yes.
Yeah. I just think that book is good, but it kind of goes away from necessarily what people are subscribing for. Like if we throw some of those in with this. So, a high-ranking military officer used jogging as a cover for underwear theft and murder.
Underwear theft?
Underwear theft and murder.
There's a lot of crotch talk this episode.
Yeah, maybe that's like our theme.
I like it.
I will definitely pick that up. Canadian Armed Forces Colonel David Williams claimed he was
Canadians.
going on daily runs in 2007, but he was really breaking into his neighbors' homes and photographing himself wearing the underwear of female residents.
Oh my
Ooh.
God.
Mind you, that was 2007.
Ooh.
Canadians.
We love our Canadian listeners. In 2009, he started to assault women before stealing their underwear.
Oh.
And then moved up to murder, kidnapping a woman on a highway before killing her and ditching her body in a forest.
Wow.
Dear.
Police secured a tire print near the victim's home, and an officer called out a match on Williams' car at a checkpoint. After 10 hours of questioning, he confessed. Can you imagine
Wow.
being a high-ranking military officer and then you've got to sit there and confess that you were breaking into your neighbors' homes and prancing around in their underpants?
There's going to
Wow.
be something crazy in that maple syrup they got up there.
This is where, like, for me, murder becomes interesting. Like, psychologically, why women's underwear? You know? And at what point did it lose the luster of just breaking in and taking the underwear? And then you're like, you know what I should do?
Up my game.
I should kill women for their dirty underwear.
He's,
Why
like,
didn't he just
losing
take
the
them out of
high.
the hamper?
Maybe that wasn't the case. Maybe it was, they were like, what are you doing in my house? He's like, stab.
That's how quick
Stab.
stabbing happens.
But I feel like maybe he like is losing the high. Like he had this high off of having their underwear on, and then all right, it's losing its luster. I need to up my game.
Well, and so they had said that he started to assault them. I'm wondering if for him, if he started to question like masculinity is a big thing. If he started to say, why am I wearing women's underwear? I'm a man, and that power piece
Yeah.
of I can still
I
be a
always go back to
man.
mommy issues.
I mean, there's certainly I wonder if the underwear is the same type that his mother wore.
Oh.
Anyways, moving on. It only feels fitting that Halloween is all year round for us. And the next one is about Halloween. Only one death has ever been linked to purposefully tainted Halloween candy.
Oh.
Only one. And that's wild because my dad used to be like, you can't eat your Halloween candy
Yes.
until we've looked. They made it sound like everybody on the block was putting razor blades or fentanyl. They made it sound like every neighborhood had someone.
Well, when we went Halloween trick or treating, it was always in my aunt's little area, and we knew all the people that were giving out the candy. It wasn't like we ever went to like a random neighborhood. My mother would never allow that.
Right.
So my mom would be like, okay, I know this candy's fine. Because always there was going to be razor blades. They're going to have syringes with blood in it or something.
I always wondered where that came from. And I always figured it was like an early 2000s thing, just based off of like talking to people. But
No, it was like that in the 90s too.
apparently an earlier.
But the thing is, if you go and buy drugs,
Why would you waste it?
why
Waste
would
that
you
children?
waste it by giving it to kids?
What kind of miserable old prick is like, you know, it would be great? Razor blades and candy. Like what?
Yeah.
You're not even going to like, even if, bear with me, you were the kind of person who like to watch people suffer, they're going home to eat the candy. You're not going to get any gain out of it.
Would you guys also see the craze? I mean, it's going a little off topic, but people were opening their oranges and they were seeing like blood in them. Like people were stabbing it with AIDS blood.
What?
I don't think that was even real, but they were opening the oranges and it was filled with blood.
Honestly, sometimes the internet makes me nervous because you can look at anything. Like there was a whole thing a little while ago about soda cans and people saying they were finding like mice and rats in the soda cans.
What?
Totally. And I know it's not
I've
logical.
seen some of that stuff.
Totally freaked me out. I for like 2 months I wouldn't drink out of a can. Because the
it's real.
idea that a rat could be in it. I mean, how would a rat fit in a soda can?
I mean, because they actually put this top on after they put the liquid in.
Right.
So I
Right.
guess a mouse could fall in.
Yeah, but if you watch some of the candy things, that happens fast.
It does. It does happen fast. I don't know. It's I don't know, weird. But also one more thing, because this is also one reason why I don't like to pump gas. Drama here.
The needles underneath the...
Yes! that was actually happening in our area like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was a thing in Massachusetts.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like to pump gas.
That sounds convenient. Anyways,
You're
back
supposed to
to
be
our
my best friend.
back to our tainted Halloween candy. In 1974, Texan Ronald O'Brien handed out pixie sticks laced with cyanide to 5 children, including his 8-year-old son Timothy. And
Oh my God, what?
like, okay, I'll keep reading. I'll just. He was in the middle of a custody dispute with his former wife and had intended to harm his son to exact revenge on his estranged
Wow.
spouse. Fuck you, Ronald.
Wow.
Timothy O'Brien died. Ronald O'Brien received the death penalty. The other 4 kids didn't eat their poisoned candy.
How did he die? Well, what year was this again?
1974.
So it's probably the electric chair.
Probably. I mean, we could definitely
Google it.
Wait, hold on. I have my phone somewhere.
Where?
All right. What was his whole name? Ronald?
Ronald O'Brien. O''B RYAN.
Oh, R-Y.
Yep. And they didn't say he was sentenced. He was
nicknamed
received.
the Candyman?
I mean, that fits.
Yeah.
Oh, he was executed by lethal injection.
Really? It must have been really soon in the lethal injection game.
Okay, a little more extra info. Poisoned his son in order to claim life insurance money.
Oh.
Because
Disgusting.
he was at $100,000 worth of debt.
So, harm his son to exact revenge and make financial gain.
Ugh. He even looks like a douche.
Let's see him.
The old guy.
He looks so creepy.
Oh, he's the old guy?
Yeah.
And also, friends, I guess be careful with pixie sticks. New fear unlocked temporarily.
But me and Rob love pixie sticks.
Well, check it for cyanide.
Right, Rob?
Ooh.
Okay, don't tell me.
This is an interesting potential one. I don't feel like the title gives us really any information, but that makes it more interesting. Witnesses calling for a killer to leave couldn't dissuade him from completing a murder.
Dissuade him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kitty Genovese returned to her home in Queens, New York around 3 a.m. on March 13th, 1964. Before she could open her door, a man attacked and repeatedly stabbed her.
Oh.
Kitty called out for help in no uncertain terms, yelling, "He stabbed me, please help me." Several residents awoke, turned on their lights, and opened their windows with just one man yelling, "Leave that girl alone," as if that's going to help. The attacker ran off, but when things quieted down, he returned and stabbed Kitty again. She called for help again. The attacker ran away, and finally at 3:50 a.m., police were summoned. So you're talking a whole hour of people being like, essentially, "Shut up, leave her alone," when they could have potentially helped her.
Imagine just getting stabbed multiple times.
Kitty died before she made it to the hospital. Nearly 40 people had witnessed the assault and nobody intervened. It was an example of diffusion of responsibility. Everyone had assumed somebody else would help or call. And then Genovese syndrome is a term used today to describe why humans become helpless bystanders in urgent situations.
They've done like experiments on that.
Yeah. I mean, and it, I guess you have to consider like the culture of an area. Like, I mean, we're here, right?
Yep.
And how many times have we been sitting in the living room reading and someone else there is yelling and we're like, "Shut up!"
It's true. It's true.
I mean, honestly, I would like to believe, I've never been placed in that situation. If somebody were yelling, "Help me, they're stabbing me," that I would call 911.
Yeah.
But how many times has somebody yelled just like, "Ah," and you're like,
Well, there's that thing too where everyone's, someone else will get it. Someone else will get it.
right.
So a good story to talk about now is me and Rob were on the Mass Pike, and we saw this car pulled over, and there was this, she was probably elderly, she might have been in her 60s, over this man in the grass, just like sitting over him, like something was obviously wrong. And Rob was great. He's like, "I'm going to call 911. And of course, someone had already called.
Yeah.
But it's like, we could have been like, "Oh, someone's already going to call it." But what if we were the only ones that called 911? I'd rather annoy a dispatcher for 5 seconds than not call at all.
Yeah.
Well, the day, last Christmas Eve when we were coming home,
Oh, yep.
there was the man who was crashed into the guardrail, and of course he was in the road and bleeding. So I got out to provide some kind of medical attention.
Oh, yeah.
And
He drove right into
he was
that
gushing out of his head. His head went into the windshield.
Yeah, he was not wearing a seatbelt or anything. Probably, broke his arm?
Oh,
Collarbone or
definitely. His arm
something?
was going the wrong way. While he was on with 911, other people, they were saying, "Oh, yep, someone else is calling in. Someone else is calling in." And they were telling them like, "Hey, I've already got someone on the line." And they stayed on with us until the police arrived.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
But like 3 or 4 or 5 people didn't stop. I mean, it was at night. I wouldn't have stopped if I was by myself. I would have just called 911.
Yeah.
But there was 2 other people who did stop. One kept, she was like, "Oh, okay, people are with him. I'm going to go home." And then the little old man stopped and brought blankets because he didn't want me standing by myself near him. I mean, the guy was obviously intoxicated, but it's the same thing. People are like, "Oh, I'm sure, yeah, there's 6 people here," but you have to consider that not everybody has the same.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say morals. I'll say not everyone has the same experience. So some people might see something and go, "Oh, I'm sure it's fine." And some people might be like, the way that lady's over him in the grass with the training and experiences I've had is telling me something is wrong.
Something's wrong. Yeah.
And I would always rather be wrong and be like, "Hey, sorry to call this in, but maybe he's throwing up because he's been drinking. I don't know. He clearly is having some kind of bad time.
Yep.
Yeah, and I had the car parked far enough away,
Yeah.
too, so.
He was... I think about that man a lot. I'm just lucky I haven't received a summons for that man yet, as I definitely had to put a written statement out. Do you want to do one more
go
in here?
for it. Absolutely.
Okay. This one's about fingerprinting, which I think is really interesting. The title is Fingerprinting was first used to convict criminals after a 1905 robbery.
Interesting.
So, I mean, 1905, that's kind of a long... I feel like people are just like, fingerprinting is new. And I'm like, not really.
I mean, I feel like it's evolving.
Yeah.
Right? It's like an ever-evolving thing.
Well, and they're getting, I mean, it goes off of a database, so they're getting access to more and more people for different reasons, fingerprints, which just initially when they didn't have a data bank, they were just kind of like, oh, great, we have this fingerprint.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Attention, cryptid enthusiasts and Bigfoot believers. Unleash your inner legend with our brand new Bigfoot t-shirt, now available just $19.95 plus shipping. This tee is everything you've ever wanted. Soft, lightweight, and designed with the perfect amount of stretch for maximum comfort. Made from 100% combed and ring-spun cotton, it's pre-shrunk to keep its flattering fit and durable enough to withstand your wildest adventures. With its high-quality construction and iconic design, this shirt is a must-have for anyone who's ready to join the hunt in style. Sizes are available for everyone, so don't wait to grab yours today. Head to the link in the show notes to snag your new favorite shirt and rep your Bigfoot pride wherever you go. I'm kind of curious, though, like when they started realizing that fingerprints are an individual thing, just like DNA.
Maybe it'll say.
Look that up. Oh, maybe it will. I'll look it up just in case.
London shopkeeper Thomas Farrow was killed in a stick-up gone awry one morning in March 1905. A crime that also involved two men going into Farrow's attached residence to look for cash and viciously beating Anne. I'm assuming because they don't have the same last name, I'm assuming a wife or a significant other. Police had little evidence beyond a greasy fingerprint on an empty cash box. Fingerprinting was still in its infancy, a novelty in evidence detecting. With neighbors suggesting that the crime was the work of known thieves, Alfred and Albert Stratton, detectives compared the fingerprint on the cash box with one they had on file of Albert.
Ooh.
The prints matched, and it was entered as evidence in the trial of Alfred Stratton. This was the first time that fingerprints were used as evidence in a criminal trial.
Ooh.
Stratton was found guilty of murder. So I suppose the way that that's written, it was the first time it was used in a criminal trial. I'm assuming that they had used it to lead them to more evidence, but they hadn't actually presented it as like Hannah is guilty and here's the reason
Because of
why.
this, yes.
Right, yeah.
Right. It was like the start, end of the means.
Like,
What's that saying?
They would start with like, we're placing her here because we have this,
Right.
but this itself is not the evidence.
So I guess the scientific understanding of fingerprints to be unique had to do with the work of Sir Francis Galton in the late 19th century, who published his findings in 1892, establishing that fingerprints are both permanent and an individual to each person. But something interesting about what I think is interesting. So we've all burnt ourselves, right? From like picking something up too fast or whatever. But if you burn it enough, you actually lose a fingerprint.
Yeah, and you can alter some of where the ridging and things are too.
Which
Or
makes
if you
me,
like cut your fingers, you permanently alter it.
Right. And
But,
even
like-
though it's just slightly, I'm sure they can still pick up on what they call like a partial, like they can get.
But like for jobs I've had, and I'm sure you have had too. Like
I've been fingerprinted.
we need to do fingerprints because we work with children. And
Whenever
that's just part
you're
of
in
what we
a
do.
school, I worked in a preschool, actual school, like where they did education based, not just like the preschool daycare version. So anytime you're in education based, they make you do.
So
all
we go
the
through
fingerprinting.
state, federal, FBI,
I can't
everything.
commit any crimes because between
No.
my hair shedding and these greasy old fingerprints,
Oh my god.
I leave fingerprints on everything. My phone right now is a disaster. Of
Yeah, and I
fingerprints.
cleaned it off, what, yesterday?
Pizza
the
Man.
screen in my car is like all
Oh, yeah.
fingerprints. I'm like, I hate it. I always have
And
had
you just
that.
got a new car.
Very distinctive.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
the whole
sorry
thing's a
because I
giant
said
screen.
one more and then I looked and just got like the quick preview of the title for the next one. And it really tied into the episode that we did where Rob's cousin Patrick was here when we talked about serial killers and their last meals and things.
Can I get a refill though real quick before we do that?
Yeah.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah, grab me one.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So I will grab some out of the serial killer section.
Okay.
Do you want to read them or do you want me to?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Rodney Alcala defended himself in court. This seems very Ted Bundy of him, right?
Yeah, very Ted Bundy of
I
him.
shall do this myself. Okay. Rodney declined his right to an attorney, even a state-appointed one, when on trial for his various murders in California.
Ted Bundy.
Very Ted Bundy.
Sorry, what year is this? Does it say?
I didn't say yet. He acted as his own lawyer instead and actually interrogated himself on the witness stand.
Wow.
It gets better, but wait, there's more. Addressing Mr. Alcala in a booming voice and then answering himself in his normal voice.
Okay, I'm sorry. Psyche Val is all I'm thinking to myself right now.
Plot twist, he was convicted anyway. I am going to look up Rodney because it doesn't give us any date and it doesn't tell us anything about him. And I'm a little impressed by him.
Court, but like Psyche Val, like wouldn't that like
You
ding ding ding?
interrogate yourself.
Oh, okay. So he was born August 23rd, 1943.
So it was before Bundy.
He died of a heart attack in California, July 24th, 2021.
Oh
Wow.
wow, recent. Okay.
So let's get a little Wikipedia situation on him. Interesting. So Rodney James Alcala, born Rodrigo Jacques Alcala.
Okay, also like Bundy because Bundy has many different names.
Was an American serial killer, rapist, and convicted sex offender who was sentenced to death in California for 5 murders committed between 1977 and 1979. He also pleaded guilty and received a sentence of 25 years to life for 2 further murders committed in New York. He was also indicted for a murder in Wyoming, although the charges filed there were dropped.
Also like Bundy, traveling everywhere.
While he has been linked conclusively to 8 murders, the true number of victims remains unknown and could be as high as 130.
Just like
Wow.
Ted Bundy, we're not sure how many. Wow, the similarities.
8 confirmed, 130 possible. Yeah.
How does he look?
He looks exactly like you would. They did like a early and late.
He almost looks a little like Bundy.
Yeah.
Very. Very. And how does his timeline flesh up with Bundy? And
So
you're the
he
Bundy
was a
expert.
little bit older than Bundy, but
Maybe Bundy was copying him the whole time.
because Bundy's child was born about the early 80s, so a little older than Rob. And that's when everything was going
Oh
down
my
with the
goodness.
trials.
So I'm sorry, I was reading and I saw a news article popped up that said, published November 28th, 2024. So 2 days ago. And the title is Dating Game Killer Kept Trophies That Ultimately Led to His Downfall.
Wait a minute, is that the show?
The movie?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Oh no, there's a Netflix show, right?
It started with while the recent release of a new film has brought the infamous case of a serial killer, Rodney Alcala, back into the public eye.
Wow.
It's a former detective who helped put him behind bars for life told Fox News Digital about a pair of earrings that led to his ultimate downfall.
What does it say? What the actress's name was?
Yes, it's the one from Pitch Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick.
Woman
Thank you.
of the Hour, right?
She
That's the name of
decided not to take any money for that
And she
film.
donated all of it. Yep.
it.
Yeah.
See,
Good for her.
this article is very interesting, and talk about funny how we're reading this out of the book.
Yeah.
And 2 days ago they posted this article.
That's-
I never realized, like when I read his name, I truthfully had no idea who he was. I didn't. I guess he was coined. You know how they always have those serial killer names. He was dubbed the dating game killer
Right.
Yep.
because he appeared on the television show The Dating Game as a bachelor number 1 in 1978.
Okay, you were called to read this one.
Creepy. I
Creepy.
don't want to be called by Rodney. There are lots of people I'm okay with being called by. Rodney is not on the list.
But now that you're reading more of that, and because of what you said, the movie on Netflix,
Yeah.
that Anna Kendrick, like it's all making sense. Because I remember seeing that, and I think I told you about
Probably.
it or meant to.
It's hard when a lot of the things you consume, whether it's like TikTok or Reels or books you're reading, when they're all about the same topic, sometimes it's hard to keep straight. Like, okay, who is that person, or is
Yeah.
that the one this movie was about? So that's definitely very
Do you want to watch the movie?
kind of.
I believe
Maybe
it's
we'll
a
do that while
series.
guys are at the game.
I believe it's a series.
Like a docuseries,
Yeah.
kind of
no,
situation.
it's it's not real. Like they don't.
No,
It's-
I think it's like the one they did with, I think it was Ted Bundy.
Yeah, it's a
Yes,
series.
like they did with Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Yep. I know,
How
right?
did he get cast for that part?
You know what?
We won't. No disrespect. I'll
High
just
School
move.
Musical.
I'll just move to the next if you want, or do you want to read a different
may I?
one? Yes. Do you have
Something a
one?
little more lighthearted. Well, I don't know if it's lighthearted, but it says unicorns in the title. So
I see it's going dark.
there be unicorns or not is the title.
I knew there was going to be a plot twist.
Myth. Farmed explorer Marco Polo saw unicorns in the 13th century. He described them as ugly brutes. The reality, historians believe that Marco Polo did see a horned animal, a rhinoceros.
Well, you know what though? Rhinos are kind of ugly. If you think of like they're gray,
Yeah.
they're beautiful in a life kind of way, but there's not compared to unicorns. I mean,
Do you know what's a scary animal? A hippo.
why?
Oh, yeah.
They're vicious.
Have you ever watched those videos of them crushing a whole watermelon with their
Yes.
jaw?
They're vicious. Like, don't get them angry.
They're so cute.
I
My mom-
I feel like a rhino would be about the same. Unless you're
probably.
East Ventura.
But they look more intimidating because of their horn.
Yes.
Hippos and rhinoceroses are kind of the same thing, except one's got a horn and one doesn't.
So,
One's a
mom.
little hornier than the other.
I guess so.
So my mom got me this. I don't know how to say it. Rob, help. This little like rhino, or no, the hippo that moves. What do you call it?
What?
I'm getting really concerned. Psyche Val.
I know. Seriously, I have
my
no clue
mom
what you're
had
talking
this
about.
hippo toy for me that was electronic. It goes
When was this?
when I was little.
Oh, then
why
how would I know?
Okay, but no, but I want the word for it. It was it animatronic? Is that how you say it?
Sure.
A robot. You had a hippo robot.
Yeah,
Yes.
robotic.
Okay, it scared the living shit out of me.
It sounds terrifying, by the way.
Yes, another childhood trauma. My mom still has it. She brought it out not too far away, and it scared the living crap out of me.
That
Not
and
too long ago?
cactuses.
Yeah, not too long ago.
So no cactuses, no hippos.
Okay,
This
and-
list of things Hannah has trauma with is getting more bizarre by the year I've known her, and also really frustratingly not inclusive.
What do you mean?
So for everyone listening, that is our Dickens Village from what is it? Department 56, and we have a church that every hour it rings.
So sorry, not sorry.
We've definitely been here for a whole hour then, guys, because I've heard it chant twice.
What do you mean not inclusive? Now I'm confused.
Oh, it's going to be really hard to give you gifts because the things are so complicated. I'm at the store with this list that looks like a Santa's list. That's like, you don't make it this, and she has a trauma with this.
No cactus.
Cactus?
I don't want to touch batteries.
That's
Well,
right.
No
What?
hippos.
I forgot about
I
that.
have this thing with batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's afraid they're going to explode in her hands.
Well, like a normal AA.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
go back to this.
Well, hold on. Have
No.
you licked a 9-volt before?
No,
Oh.
tell him that's weird. Tell him that's weird.
That's weird.
What child has not licked a 9-volt battery?
She hasn't.
You two children are weird.
Right.
Maybe-
That's how you know if it still works.
But we weren't little boys like you guys
No,
were.
you know how I know if a battery works? I stick it in something, and if it doesn't turn on, I'm like, must be the battery.
But it's
My
only-
mother was the one who was like, lick the 9-volt
Yeah.
battery. That's how you know it still works.
Oh, so it's that Rhode Island thing.
No, because I
Okay.
did it in Western Mass.
Yeah.
If you've ever licked a 9-volt battery, go down into the show notes and send us a message.
Cousin Marc.
Cousin Mark, tell them it's not normal to lick 9-volt batteries, please. Awkward lull while we all
Yeah, it
toast him.
All right, myth. Unicorns are mentioned in the Bible 9 times. The reality. The word seems to have first popped up in the 1611 version of the King James Bible.
Damn King
Scholars.
James.
I have so much things I could say, but I'm not going to. Scholars say it wasn't magic that put unicorns into Holy Scripture. It was mistranslation and misunderstanding, like so much of the Bible. The Hebrew word rayem, which is translated to English as unicorn, most likely referred to the raimu, a now extinct species of ox.
Interesting.
Oh, we can get into Bible stuff someday. All right, there we go. Myth. The horn of a captured unicorn, when ground into a powder, has medicinal qualities, such as the ability to destroy poison and purify water. In the 16th century, an intact unicorn horn was worth 10 times more than gold. They were sold in pharmacies well into the 1700s. The reality is shady merchants got their unicorn horns, quote, from the narwhal, a type of whale with a protruding tooth that looks like a horn.
Those poor narwhals.
Hope
They
you
were
find your
being
dad.
scalped, and they weren't even getting credit for the things that they were being stripped of.
Yep. Can I read one more?
Yes.
Yes.
History. North Korea style.
Oh boy.
In November 2012, the government-run North Korean Central News Agency announced that scientists there had found the burial site of a unicorn, the one that was said to have been ridden by King Dongmyeong, I'm sorry, I probably butchered that, who had founded Korea, known as Goguryeo at the time in 37 BC. The site was located near a temple in the North Korean capital of Pyongyang. A rock engraved with unicorn layer marked the grave. Sung-Young Lee, a professor of Korean studies at Tufts University, told Live Science that the report was political propaganda. So why would the government claim that unicorns are real? To support Kim Jong-un, North Korea's leader, of course, it's symbolic, Lee said. North Koreans don't take reports like this literally the way Westerners would. Another professor said the report was mistranslated. What was found was not a unicorn's lair at all. It was the burial site of a kirin. What's that? A beast with a dragon's head, a deer's body, and the tail of a cow. I don't know if that's worse than a unicorn.
That's why I don't read fantasy novels.
A deer's body, and the tail of a cow. But no, fantasy's good.
No. That's a lot of unicorns.
I didn't know the next one was about unicorns. Just North Korea caught my attention.
Who would have thought North Korea and unicorns would have just made a sandwich?
Yeah. Hey, Rob.
Yo.
I think Pizza Man would like that show you watch on YouTube.
Which one?
Remember he went into North Korea?
Oh, yes, the Indigo Traveler.
Yeah, you would like him.
I just looked at a little fun fact for you guys too.
Oh, go ahead.
So
Go ahead, Pizza Man.
completely, I mean, I guess it does have to do with murder. So, let me get to that first, or it'll be second. So the release date. So fun fact: the release date for Star Wars came out in May 25th, 1977. Right. The last person to be executed.
No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Last person to be executed by guillotine was Hamia. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, but it was on September 10th, 1977 in France.
They used the guillotine for a very long time.
1977. Star Wars came out in 77. So imagine you just walked out of the theater watching Star Wars. Obviously, if they kept in theaters that long. And be like, you know what? I'm going to go watch a beheading.
That is kind of funny.
Oh boy, thank you, Pizza Man. How did you find that? Like, were you like random facts?
No, I remember watching a thing that I was saying it compared timelines
Oh,
for
okay.
a lot of things, and I was like, I'm just gonna look this up real quick because I figured you guys would appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think there's more if I actually pull up the whole little thing, the reel.
So, Pizza Man, I don't know if you listened to that episode that we did with Rob's cousin Patrick, but we all talked about if we had to die by the way of the government, which one would we choose? And I picked beheading, and they all looked at me like I was crazy.
I mean, it's quick.
We also picked what our last meal would be if we were going on death row.
Yes, and I wanted all my mommy's food, which was... It's fine. My mom has good cooking.
Oh, where is it?
I think Rob was a firing squad. Right, Rob?
I think so.
Courtney, do you remember what yours?
I don't think I picked one.
Oh.
I mean, the beheading is without a doubt quick.
But they said it wasn't. What if it didn't work the first time?
I mean, I would sure hope that thing's gonna...
But I watched A Ghost Adventures because you guys know that, I have a certain crush on someone. But anyways, so they were at Ohio State Penitentiary, and this
I
guy...
hear that's a good trip.
Yes, it looks amazing. I would love to go with
Let's
you
go.
guys. Yeah, I would love to. But the hanging that they did, the guy... It took him 15 minutes to
Ooh.
die by hanging.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would have never chose hanging. I know for me that's
But like by that time, why did someone just not like end his misery?
I mean, that's like crucifixion. That one actually takes forever to die.
Actually,
Yeah,
I want to say
'Cause you
Patrick and I both
suffocate.
said lethal injection.
Did you?
I think we did.
Oh man, I can't find.
That one also has its issues.
They all have their issues. They're all
Yeah.
problematic.
Because even if you take beheading by sword, I mean,
by
if it's
sword.
if it's not sharp enough, or someone's not strong enough, or drawn and quartered, woo! Do you know drawn and quartered? Does everyone know what drawn and quartered is?
No.
Oh, isn't that the one where you're hooked up to horses?
Each limb to a horse, and then they kick them, and then they
Yeah.
go in each direction.
Nope.
All right. We ready for our card?
Yes, we are.
It's a king of clubs. Daryl Jenkins Jr. On June 4th, 2014, the victim was shot in front of his residence on Kensington Avenue in Springfield.
Oh.
Witnesses heard multiple shots in the area, and a female who was present in the area was also shot but survived. If you have any info about this case, please call 1-855-MA-SOLVE. Daryl Jenkins Jr.
Mm.
I don't know why. When I picked up the cards, I was like, we're gonna know this card. I'm still really like, my mind is still blown that, and Pizza Man doesn't know this, but there's a case from my childhood that my mom always talked about with someone who she knew. And I talked about it on like 3 different episodes when Hannah asked questions. And the last time I pulled a card, it was her card.
Oh.
And I was like, I had goosebumps up both arms. I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure I pulled the card and read it, and then your face just dropped.
Yeah. Daryl Jenkins Jr. That sounds really familiar. But anyways,
What was the year on it? Did we...
2014.
2000? Okay, so it was recent. So it's probably something that we consumed in the media looking at.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's because the name did sound really familiar. And I have to say, like, just shuffling the cards, what I find to be the most sad part of all of it is almost all of the victims, at least the ones that are left in our half a deck as I was shuffling, are young African-American males.
Yeah.
Oh, and it is so sad because I would say out of the cards that are remaining here, 3/4 of them are African-American males, young, all under the age of 25 at least.
It also makes you think, like, okay, do we just not have any information, or no one even bothered to
no,
look
and that's exactly what I was
far
gonna
enough?
say. It's so hard to overlook, like that's the data. Like, it's as I'm shuffling, I'm like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, like it's sad.
It's sad. It's really sad. It's fucked up.
It's very fucked up.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that's drawn out that way. It's certainly doesn't look very good.
No. Well, I appreciate Pizza Man being here. Thank you. And
Yes.
all right. Well, goodbye, Courtney,
Bye, Hannah.
and goodbye, Wanderers.
See you
Goodbye.
next time.
Bye.
Later.
Thanks for listening today. Wicked Wanderings is hosted by me, Hannah.
And co-hosted by me, Courtney.
And it's produced by Rob Fitzpatrick.
Music by Sasha N.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to leave a rating and review, and be sure to follow on all socials. You can find the links down in the show notes. If you're looking for some really cozy t-shirts or hoodies, head over to the merch store. Thank you for being a part of the Wicked Wanderings community. We appreciate every one of you. Stay curious, keep exploring,
And always remember to keep on wandering.
Hi, Wanderers. If you haven't checked out our TikTok page yet, please do, and make sure you hit the follow button. When we get 1,000 followers, we'll be able to view exclusive content and go live on TikTok.